it's a Cajun, it's done with Steen's cane syrup, which is in here, and if I need more, I can get you. This is a byproduct of our sugar industry, so it's from Louisiana. It is all natural. It is not chemically created like you're going to find corn syrup. So please don't do corn syrup. Man, I saw this candy jar downstairs and grabbed up a piece real fast, and then I realized, oh, this is 100% corn syrup. Okay, but this is pressed out of the cane, so it's not chemically made. So it's actually very good for you. It is the best pecan pie you would ever make using this stuff. And do you guys have sugar cane out your way?
No.
Okay.
No.
It's like molasses, but if you have to take more moisture out of this to get real molasses out of it. It's like the first stage of it. So it's a little bit thinner, and it's not quite a strong flavor. It is horribly sticky. It is sticky. Like I said, I've got more of it back there. And then they also create their own vinegar, which I love. It's kind of got a little sweetness to it along with the spice. So that's why this was all a promotional thing we did for a brunch menu that we were going to offer to the upscale people that never ended up coming. But it ended up being it is the dressing we now use at our Riverview. It's our exclusive. I kept trying to get it in bottles so we can sell it.
Is it from around here?
Say again?
Is it from around here?
Yeah, it's all made here in Abbeville, Louisiana. It all comes out of Abbeville, Louisiana. Everything I try to work with when I get to go to the market and buy is local. So this is Abbeville. Yeah, Abbeville, Louisiana, both of those products. Now this is pecan oil, which is like the best oil in the market. It's got a 470-degree flash point and only about 7% saturated fats. We're not using it for our soup today because this gallon is like $150. This is all I had left, and it should be enough to make this. That's retail through the store. You can go somewhere online and buy it cheaper. But it's really, really good, really, really healthy. And what I like about this one over the other one we have downstairs is, you know how pecans, when you eat them, it kind of leaves a powdery taste. This one does not. So it's really great. Works with that. Okay. And this is the last of this mustard. We will never see this mustard again. It was made right here in the French Quarter. The couple's just gotten too old to produce it anymore. It's called Scratch Mose. So I had some at home and brought it in for us to use today. So it's different. Well, we bought every jar they had, so this is the last of my jar. I gotta go find another jar from a friend. But that's what we're using here. So all that's Louisiana product, okay? And again, it's going to be over whatever salad stuff you get. You got over there, okay? And if there's not enough, if we need more, I've got more product I can get you, okay? A little history on the school there. Now, this says authentic muffaletta sandwich. So that's kind of a little bit of a misnomer, because we're not going to be doing the authentic coarse checker bread chopped with sesame seed top. We're going to do, this is more of an appetizer. This again is something I created because it's just too much bread when you're trying to sit there. They have little mini buns about yay big around, about that big, but again, too much bread to eat. So what I've done is I've gotten some French bread loaves, some short baguette things that you're going to cut into rounds, and then I've made the adjustments that I want you to do on the recipes that are on your pages, because this is not my recipe kind of thing, but you put a little bit of olive oil onto the bread, and that just helps soften the bread and also helps anchor everything to it. Then you just build the sandwich on top of it. You got salami, mortadella loaf, provolone cheese, and you top, after you get the olive salad on the top it with that grated mozzarella, and that'll kind of make it stick, and those get run into the oven.
What do they call the olive salad? Something like jardiniere?
No, that I think there's a jardiniere, but I think it's more of a spicy kind of thing. I think it would apply. No, I think it would.
We call it tapenade.
You know, tapenade. Yeah, I've got this Boscali because it again is also made locally. It's got cauliflower and carrots, so my vegetarians should be happy with this. There's capers in there and there's olives in there, so I grabbed those from the store. There's a recipe here that, oh no, I didn't give you the recipe. I can get your recipe if you want to make up your own olive salad, but it's basically just taking all those kind of pickled vegetables you see in the shelves and chopping up, putting it together. It's nothing, but this was already done up there, okay? Then we're doing corn and crab bisque. This is one of my favorites. It's a little bit of a challenge for the team because you get to, actually, I found some corn, which I think this might be the last corn we're gonna get because we're gonna have to freeze. So you get to cut the corn off the cob, and you can do what I say, milking a cob. You know what milking the cob is? Well, after you cut, you don't want to cut right up next to, I might have the corn husker, corn shucker here. I do not. Okay. You don't want to cut your knife right up against the cob because you get the little kernel. So you stay off just a little bit, but then that leaves all that really wonderful milk juice that's in there. So you turn the knife around, cut with this, turn around and cut, scrape like this. And what I would do is after you shuck it, cut it in half, gives you a flat surface to stand on. Okay? So that's going to be a challenge. And then like I said, I've made adjustments on this recipe. So when you get over here, if you want to copy those down and those changes, because I like to cook my corn a lot longer than the recipe says. So I'm telling you to cook it at least 30 minutes before you start building on it. And then the crab does not go in till the very end of the cooking time, nor does the cream go in. Either of those go in right as we're going to eat it. So just get everything built to that point, and then we'll come back and add the cream in. If you make the soup at home and you have a whole lot of it, freeze it before you put the cream in it, or before you put the crab in it, because it'll freeze up okay. Once you put the cream in, it'll freeze really nicely, but cream separates, and you can never pull it back together when you do that. Okay, I'm just giving you, and I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere, so I'll be able to help you. All right, barbecue shrimp. Now, the only thing I'm disappointed here, and this is my fault, I totally forgot. The best thing in here, and I've taken it off the recipe over here, is using fresh rosemary, and I don't have it. And that's going to make a big difference if you guys do this at home. You want to throw, don't cut it up, don't take the leaves off, just throw the whole stalk in, and then before you serve it, you're going to take it out. Before you finish it, the last step of the butter, you'll take it out. But it has that wonderful flavor, and there's much more flavor in the oil coming out of the stem. And that's my fault. I totally forgot about buying that. But I got your beer. We'll make stock. We'll use veggie stock again here, so you'll be able to, for the vegetarians, make it a little bit healthier that way, okay? And all these individual spices, dried thyme, fresh pepper, I crossed all that off because it's all here in the Joe Stuff seasoning mixes. And then on the table, if you want a little bit spicier, you got the red one, which is hotter, the green one's the hottest of the three. And again, you can taste these and make adjustments here. Each team can do their own thing there. The key here is you're going to put your shrimp in toward the very end. You cook them, then the shrimp come out into the plate before you add the last of the butter in. When you add the last of the butter in, you swirl the butter around so that you can thicken. And unfortunately, this is the best pot I could find for this one because of the volume of the shrimp we're doing. So you're gonna have to do some clever turning of the pot, because you're not supposed to stir it, because if you stir it, it breaks it down, okay? And again, I'm not going anywhere. And then cheese grits, okay? This recipe, I don't know if I made the adjustments here. This says it's for 2 servings. It's actually for more like 4 servings. So I would at least triple this recipe when you're putting it together. Whoever's on that team, putting it together. So you're going to use a 1.5 cups of grits, 3 cups of water, 3 cups of milk, and then I've got some cream cheese, and I've got I don't think it's Romano cheese. I think it's I'll have to get it on the back. It's it might be Romano cheese. I found that we had some grated rather than just having to go through and grate it. The salt goes in the water. Now be careful with that, because these are induction burners, so they heat up very, very quickly, and you do not want them to overflow and make a mess on your stove. Okay, this pot should be big enough for the grits we need for this group. It should be plenty. Okay, then the bread pudding. This is white chocolate bread pudding. You actually have a choice of what you want to do. I've put over here strawberries, pecans, milk chocolate, white chocolate. Those all can go in, or they don't. None of them have to go in. I would prefer that you put the berries in because this is the only Louisiana thing you've got. Okay? And again, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be wandering around and helping everybody. And Tom and all these, you were here last year too, so, or the last time. You've done the class before.
No, I haven't done the class
Oh, you didn't do the
before,
class before. Okay.
We didn't do the cooking class last year.
Okay, so we at least have 3 experienced people here that should be able to help you with any of this stuff.
How dare you? How
All right,
dare you?
So, I need a captain for the bread pudding team.